Those are. Oh, I know. Now that looks good with her tree. Where's the other one? I gotta show Jerry. Say, Jerry, the Lord is truly blessed. So here it is. I really like near.
See, if I worked and I had to, and I would keep all this stuff, but I don't work.
God bless them. Their kids.
I don't work, so I can. Those look good, Norma. I like those.
I do too. Cheers. Look what else the Lord gives me.
Look what else the Lord gives me on the summer.
This is cute, isn't it? Look at the back of it.
That is cute. We've got one Christmas sweater that would fit you from Victoria's Secret, so we've got
This is a 1995 sweater. It's just too big. Too big. And it makes me look like Mama. Take that back. That's how you really feel. I feel like Mama in this sweater.
I wear them. Make him cut that off.
Listen at it.
No,
Well, guess what? Ask her what she just said.
No.
What you just said.
She looked right at the camera and goes, this sweater makes me feel like Grandma.
I didn't know. I looked up and I didn't realize you had the camera on. Yes, on me.
Hey, Dakota. Smile. Hey, bud. Your kiss. Smile, bud.
Does it smile?
Hey.
I got this one this morning.
That's pretty good.
Right here. And if you look at his face, it just ripped his head, you know? You see the movies, you hear the stories, it's...
That thought gave me a kiss.
What was he looking for you for?
A key.
Everyone can do what we do.
They want you back there,
do nothing else. It ain't an easy job. When you bring a herd into town and you ain't lost to one of them.
Look what I got.
Like in the world.
Oh, that's nice.
Las Vegas, baby.
Yeah. Gotcha. Swallow that thing.
I'm gonna kill you.
You've been practicing that.
I tried to empty all these bottles.
Hey, what's the smell of you? What's the matter? We're gonna get Dakota. Kiss. Kiss. That's what you need, Mother.
I know it, but
I'm breeding him in 6 months.
are you?
Yep, we'll have a bunch of little ones.
Well, I might take one of them.
I'm breeding him with,
You know, you have to take them to the doctor and all that. I can't
Well,
take myself.
well, if we get one, then if you want one, we'll take you and get all that stuff taken care of first. Because it's just, the first couple, if you have like
That's all.
5 visits, the first month, you have to do like 5 times. And then after that, it's like every 6 months.
You know, I was out there and I was feeling bad and she made me go home with her. Because she's afraid I'd get worse in the night, and she had. And I stayed a day or two. And her neighbor above her there, she turned to me down to the house. Bill had been down to the dog rod and let his dog his new out. And they hollered and said, called on the phone and told Bill not to let his dog out. There was a skunk with rabies
Oh
in
my.
her yard.
Rabbit. They call it rabbit. Rabbit.
And they said it was just going around, just having fits. It was a skunk
And it could bite a dog, I suppose.
that was already had rabies. And they called, tried to get somebody to come out there, and nobody come at all late in the evening. So that man just killed it himself and put it in cat tubes in his yard. And put it in a plastic bag and kept it to see if they'd come after a while. I think he finally buried it. But you have to be careful.
Everybody, come here. Dakota, come here.
I might take his picture. Where is he? Dakota, come here. Dakota.
Take a picture of her.
Yeah, I'll figure it out here in a minute. Come here, Dakota.
That button that says snapshot.
Yeah.
Up on top.
Yeah.
Come in here.
You hit it, it'll
Come on.
you push that button until it'll take a picture and then fade out.
Come on. Dakota. Come out of the road on that way.
Where'd he go? Come here, Dakota. Come here, Dakota.
If it's like most dogs when they go somewhere else, they wee in the floor.
I wouldn't be surprised. But he's good. He goes outside.
Yeah, but a strange place. Every time
You gotta mark your spot.
Oh,
Here, bud.
Get him over there.
Come here. Checking it out, aren't you? Yeah, you're checking it out.
Hey, man, I'm gonna hold him a minute. Again.
What?
is he sleep with you?
Yeah, sometimes. So who's that?
Oh,
So I'll give you sugar.
I can't stay in there. Here, you be a good dog. Be a good dog. You'll wash my face.
Settle down, bud.
Look here. Look.
See Dakota?
So he gets the.
Roo! Roo!
When you say that at home, he'll go run.
Roo!
We have sliding glass doors. They're gonna run to them and look outside and start barking at people.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, goodness, he's young.
So I'm gonna get down.
I see you can darken this thing too, Kenny.
Huh?
You can darken this thing. Here on this menu, bright.
That's just the viewfinder, though.
Oh, yeah?
If you push that down, you get you a menu. And you scroll from the menu and pick your.
How do you scroll?
Turn it. And you pick different modes like sepia and black and white, different fade out modes. And,
How do you make it fade out?
that's if you just hit stop recording, but see, like,
It's on fade out.
hold it still. That's what you want to keep on that. See,
Dakota,
if you go in here,
come on, let's go.
this is where you get your like
Dakota.
sepia, twilight, monotone, classic film, strobe, slow motion, video echo, stuff. Here we go.
Jim said he'd talked to him, but he hadn't been able to go over there because he couldn't drive. And he said that he sounded good, and he told Jim that he get about better, you know. It's not as heavy, and he felt better. And that losing that weight, I guess, wanting to go home and all that. Because I know they fed him good, but I don't know that he got stuff for diabetic or what. How they done that? But anyway,
You and Marion and Brooks could save money if y'all had a place that was suitable for.
all three of
Yeah,
us.
but you can't. I mean, you can't be all shut up together.
I know. Now, but I ain't able to help Brooks. I ain't able to help Marion. Marion's got more help than I've got. She's got food brought to her.
Meals on Wheels.
Every day. All kinds of treats.
How many meals a day does she get?
One a day. But they bring her-
Lunchtime.
Yeah,
Lunchtime.
yeah, before 12 o'clock. And they bring her extras, you know, apples and anything, you know, which, well, not anything. And she won't eat it. She gave Manette a whole lot of frozen food, and Manette took it for a bottle. You know, I couldn't eat it either. I get tired of it. Anyway, Brooks could get them, but I don't think it'd be good for Brooks. You know, Brooks will eat certain things, like diabetic. And Annette's got when she heard a doctor tell it on television, take a half a teaspoonful of cinnamon, powdered cinnamon, either on toast or just sprinkle it on something. And that would prevent you from being a diabetic.
What if you're already one though?
Well, if you're already one,
Let me blow my nose and go back outside.
Oh.
Blow my nose.
Wait a minute, Dakota.
Go outside. Go outside. Go to the door. Go out the door and I'll be there in a minute.
Come to the door.
Go to the door. Go outside. Go outside. Go outside.
Come to the door.
let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go outside.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's hook him up. Let's hook him up. Let's hook this dog up. Let's hold boy up.
You know, when he lets the dog out,
Who?
Bill, when he let the other dog out, when he got up to the garage, he'd take a paper towel or something, rag or something, wipe him off before he'd let him in the house.
Been out in the grass and wet.
Yeah.
Wet.
And whenever he's happy to get out of his garage and launch, and then he'd wait on Bill at the garage to be wiped off. They come sense, haven't
They
they?
do. They know.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And Bill will take that old bag or whatever he's got out there in the garage and clean them off.
Is in it driving your car enough to keep it running a little bit? Or?
Well, I had to buy a new battery
Yeah.
then, but I don't know what caused it to run down, but it said
Well,
it
it's old enough to be wore out, the battery.
Well, that's the second one I
Oh.
bought.
Well, you don't, I mean, I've never had a car that I didn't run almost every day, and it's,
Well, see, I did. I went to Hardee's every day
yeah,
and kept that oven up.
some light, maybe something stayed on or something, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I seem to think, that I left something on.
But there's so many things on them things, I don't, how you figure out what you got on?
So, she drives it, we'll take it on Friday and ride it around, take it down, get my hair done, and anywhere else we have to go. And I said something about starting it up every morning, but Bill said he didn't think that'd help with the second hour start. You?
I guess it gives the oil circulating in the motor and stuff.
He said
don't-
that I could, but he didn't know how to keep it from running down, and that was the main thing, be sure everything was off, air conditioning, and the lights, everything that would pull.
Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know if it help it or not. It wouldn't hurt, I don't guess. But nothing you have to do. Once every once in a while. If you're just driving it on Friday, you might start it Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday and let it run a little bit. While you're out there, I wouldn't worry about it in real cold weather.
No, I went down there and she just kept on wanting me to come down there and she'd say some juice and different things she wanted to eat. And I got in the car and went down there and never put my seatbelt on. And I got down to the foot of the hill, down there where he go across. There's a car stopped, you know. It's a caution light. And I thought it was a red light. As much as I did. But it just, that car in front of me turned and went toward Maryland's, and I went with it. And I wasn't supposed to. But I didn't cause no trouble. But I was turning, and here come this car, he was turning. I turned in front of him. And when I got down to the red light, I thought, now I done wrong. I shouldn't have done that. Hadn't even thought of the seatbelt. And when I come out and started home, I thought of the seatbelt. Things just leave me like that. And then when I got back up down there to that light, I seen, you know, this one goes.
Yeah, take turns.
Yeah. But you see, when I noticed it
How long ago was this? When did you go down there?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
That's the first time you'd driven in a long time.
Yeah. So I didn't tell her. Well, she just raised it down. And she never went, but I didn't tell her.
But you don't get to Hardee's much anymore, do you?
I don't go at all. Unless she comes here first and gets me, and we go over there.
Is there people you used to meet over there still go over there?
Yeah. She and I went over there a week or more ago, and we got over there and hadn't even opened. We can't keep out. So there's one man. We drove up, and there's the car to the second there, but that was the ones that was there, I reckon. And it said, I don't believe they're open.
What time of day was it?
About 10:30 or
Nice
whatever.
start.
So she says, wait here and I'll go see. And she went in and stayed. And a few minutes she come out and says, no, says, they've not got anybody to do the cooking. And then says, man, this guy's in there, and one man in there to buy. I know him. His last name's Weedhall. And I didn't know him. So we went on after, was going to Walmart anyway, we went out there and that harvest. And so though the morning, it was Thursday morning, Friday morning, was finished. And when she goes to work, she comes by there and gets me a biscuit and come on here, and her one, and eats here, and then she goes to work. She comes out.
And where's she working?
Up at the old post office.
What's up there?
She works for Congressman
Oh, yeah,
Charles
okay.
Carroll.
She get paid for that?
Yeah, makes good money. She's just sick that I can't go. I need help, you know.
To stuff envelopes and do stuff, I guess?
Calling. And a friend of hers that lives out at Land Point Landing behind Walmart would work, but she can't climb the steps. There's no elevator. And it's on the second or third. I guess second floor.
That post office don't have a second floor, does it?
Huh?
That old post office don't have a second floor, does it?
Mm-hmm. But you see, back when it was built, there wasn't elevators. There wasn't many
No.
anyway.
I can remember when that, I remember when that was new.
Can you?
Well, I mean, that post, I forget where it used to sit. Where was post office at for?
Down on the corner of Fourth and Church. And it's been all, seemed like all my life.
That's where it's at now.
No. New one's out on this day.
No, I mean, the old one, I know where the old one's at, but I remember when they built that old one, where was it before that?
I don't know.
Was it right there at the same place? I think it was in the same spot, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's where Mr.
But they built a new one in that spot.
Bill's daddy retired from there.
Yeah, but they tore it down, I guess, and built a new one. Back in the 60s or 70s when they built that post office that's there now. The
But
old
they
one.
just kept it nice. It was
Okay.
newer than it is now.
Well, they remodeled it then or something.
Yeah. Tim Shipman owns it.
He does.
And it's got no air conditioning. Yeah, it's got air conditioning, but it stays broke half the time.
Now, where is the new one? I forgot where the new one's at.
Go out Fifth Avenue, past the First Baptist Church, and the next block on the right.
Sure. Turn there at, what's her name that died? What?
Betsy's
Betsy.
past Betsy and going up to
The next corner, in front of the church.
New church.
Turn, well,
And turn left. That's the church newer than.
yeah,
I used to go to the old one
Yeah.
on the corner facing Betsy's.
okay.
Kitty corner, like that. Go up there to Fifth Avenue. As you pass Betsy, go another block and turn left and go a block. There's a light there, and then go a little ways and it's on brick.
Okay.
It's been there several years, but that old post office, Mr. Pace worked there when I was sixth grade.
They just remodeled it. They did something to it back when I was a kid. They widened the street there, did something, and made the parking lot different.
Yeah, well, they're always doing things like that.
Dakota, did you use the bathroom?
No.
Did he,
A
Kenny?
little bit, but we checked out everything.
He checked out there. He had to check this house out and everything.
Oh, yeah. What did you find? Nosy. Nosy.
Ah, nosy dog.
Nosy. You got him a bed, no sleeps again.
Well, no, he's got
It's got a little kennel we put
a
on it.
kennel thing that you carry with a
Little
handle.
boy.
Yeah.
Door on
Outside.
it.
Yeah. You want some ice cream?
No, I want some
You
medicine.
any? A popsicle?
I want some medicine.
What's the matter with him? Got allergy?
Hey, he's got allergy.
See, roll of toilet tissue. That's soft as a Kleenex. I keep it there because I'm just like you. When I get up in the morning, my nose just runs. I can use a box of Kleenex. No, the day.
We ought to come out here tomorrow and eat some of these leftovers, probably.
Hey, I'm not going to eat any very little.
Eat. Unless
I
you need to
made
take
some.
Brooks some. Or...
I made some just plain cornbread, a little plain.
Well, how'd you make? You didn't have any buttermilk. What'd you do?
I can make it sweet. I think that, or I never have it. The recipe calls for a cup of buttermilk.
I bet you do the same thing. So, what's that with the tin foil over there?
That's just,
Grease?
my pans that goes in there. Just dip your pans and they get covered in grease.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I cook the beans and they're warm. And the sugar's on. And I was going to boil last week. Oh, yeah, last Thursday.
Yeah.
And it had to take her not that long. And Mary says, Aunt Eddie is getting too fat. She says, isn't she worried? She says, that'll cover her heart. But Aunt Eddie didn't hear. I didn't tell her that. Bless her heart.
She's not getting any bigger, is she? Lately.
No, I don't know. I don't know how much she weighs. But she'll come in here. Whoo, she said, open the door. She says, how hot. And here I am in here like this, cold. But like a cup, take it easy.
He can't keep his eyes open.
Anyway, it's early in the morning, when she comes to go to work. She'll raise that window and put that little old fan in there and she'll sit there and eat. And I says, isn't that too much on you? She says, Lord, no, it feels good. She says, it's too hot in this house. How do you stand?
It's
And when you go out there, you just freeze to death.
I can't stand that.
I go in my room, which used to be Karen's, and cut it all off. Shut the door. Well, she'll cut it down, but then first thing you know, it'll come on. It don't get too cold for her.
Is that dog you gonna breed with, Kenny? A miniature, full-blooded miniature? That'd be nice.
Just tan.
Huh?
Tan.
Tan. That could make some pretty colors. If it's a tan one and black mixed.
Yeah.
He's part tan, but
Yeah, got some tan on him. And it had a dog, but just like it. What was his name?
so our dog was much bigger than that, Heinz.
Yeah, Hans.
He was so big, you know.
Yeah,
Well, he's bigger than that one.
yeah, he wasn't a miniature.
Chip was about that size bigger. Little old Chihuahua.
Yeah. Yeah, it was about.
A little smaller than that one. He stayed over in that corner.
Kelsey sat down on the back steps one day and this old man come walking up the road all years ago. Well, not so many years ago. You know, Mr. Drake lived in town. He'd been out walking and walked around the lake and cut through and come back. He says, you know what? He says, I ought to call the law and report you for letting that dog get so fat. And says, I didn't let it. I just fed it and it got that fix there. But Heinz was fat. But Annette's.
No, it wasn't as fat as that.
Annette's.
Heinz could run like crazy down through the yard.
Well, he took cancer and all this was just dropping.
They have problems with their back. Heinz died. We didn't know where he died, didn't he?
Huh?
Didn't he go off and die somewhere?
No, I had him put to sleep. That's yonder garden.
chip went off and died, I think, over there or something.
Yeah. But anyway, and that dog's stomach just, her legs is so short, her stomach just really drags. And she's just about gone.
We need to have Sugar quick sleep. She's like that.
No. Sugar's dragging. No, Sugar, our dog Sugar's got some tumors or something. She's had some skin hang down here and it kind of just seals up and just flops down here. It just comes down and it almost seals itself up. I believe you could just cut it off. And it's just flopping down there. But I'm not going to have anything done with her. She's not hurting.
Well,
She's about.
Thing, he'd just walk out the road, you know, on the land, and you could tell he was suffering. And I think a lot of it was grieving over Kim.
Yeah.
You know, Kim was sick 9 months.
Did he live longer than Dad? I mean, Hines, you put him to sleep after Dad died?
Yeah. And he couldn't hardly walk. He was swelled and everything. So we took him out there to Arden. And it took him in. I didn't have the heart to take him in, or even go with. And asked, you know, and look at him and everything. And he had cancer, and he discharged too much, and couldn't guarantee that he'd make it. So I just won $300 to operate on.
At that age and everything, he never would have come out of there.
No.
How much they charge to put him to sleep? 75, something like that?
I forgot. I know.
Did they bury him too?
Yes, or
They kept him. You didn't get him back. I mean, they kept him in there again.
Yeah, I didn't see him after he left the car. They put him to sleep. He might have doctored him and got him away and kept him.
I don't think so.
I never pass out of what I think about.
I don't think so. He was so many years old then.
He's 14.
Yeah, that's a dog just don't live much longer than. That's 98 years.
You know, Kent was in the hospital and Isaac and there, and he's here by himself and had a chain right here, tied, laid in this basket. But I come home every morning and fed him and let him out. He stayed out because he didn't get the road.
He was good about that, not getting around. He stayed out in this yard all night.
Racetrack now since they paved it. It's moved down there, and this one's off. Yesterday I went on the porch, and I must have been out at the light. I heard someone fussing, cursing.
Right. He had his hands up in the air like. Sometimes he lays on his back with his arms straight up.
And I looked up and one car was flying this way, took off from the light. And another one raced it, going behind it. And when it got right here, boy, he stepped on it and a whip around, you know. And I thought, oh, he's facing that car on that curve. And I just rolled up thinking. And I think one was after the other, cussing and ripping around, as they call it, the road rage. But I didn't hear nothing. And then one day I was out, and here come a middle-aged man, I guess, riding a lawnmower tractor, you know. He gets up there and goes around that curve. Here comes one of these flying Jennies. Run up on that man and kill him.
I wouldn't ride on that road out there or something like that.
Oh, no. And I think, no, how's he go get around that curve? Because they just fly. When they take off from the line, you know, they got a straight like that. And then they come straight up here. It's always been dangerous, but it's worse than ever. There's so many cars. And the woods full of homes, all up in yonder and everywhere. Down here and on this side. The whole town is.
Ethel's still living over there?
seen it.
Ethel's still over there.
Yeah. I reckon, you mean now?
I mean, living
Oh,
there.
yeah, yeah. Danny lives with him. She stayed one night in our city.
What year did Dad die? It was 83.
He's 73.
It was almost December 83 though.
The 16th, I think.
Yeah, almost 84
Well, he was born 1910.
in October.
October the 10th, 1910.
Yeah, and it was he
He
was
was
70.
10 fertilizer.
What about that? I didn't realize that he was 10. October 10th, 1910.
Yeah.
I didn't. I
He'd
really.
go up to the hardware store and where to get that fertilizer when he's making a garden and all.
Walker
Anyway,
Hardware.
Yeah, they found out about him being born the 10th year and the 10th day and the 10th month. And they'd call him, here comes 10. He knows. Yeah.
That was about 17 years already. So you got one leg up there now.
He's enjoying that fan.
Yeah, I think so. So he's enjoying something.
You on a pill?
I need a cushion.
And what's his name again?
Because
Dakota. What a dog. What a dog.
I got on an airplane the other day in Cincinnati, Ohio with this Indian woman. She must have been about 70 years old. White-headed or gray-headed and had the hair pulled in them little tight braids. Beads on and
Oh,
Indian. I mean, her daddy was Mohawk and her mother was a Navajo.
yeah. She talked to you.
Yeah, but I couldn't hardly keep my eyes open. I needed some sleep, so I had to come home and drive home. She had some stories to tell.
Kenny, I got your letter and I'll stick her to get it. But I got more than the letter. You
What?
about what you're going to do.
Oh, there's not anymore.
Not.
Not anymore.
Don't stop.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You shouldn't have read that letter.
Huh?
You shouldn't have read that letter.
Well, it don't matter. I don't know nothing about it. It's none of my business. But I was just shocked to know that he was ready to get married when I had even hardly had a girlfriend. Well,
Not nothing to rush for, that's for sure.
how old you been when you married?
Too young.
Too
21.
21. Gals was 26 and I was 19.
Dad was 26.
Well, we wasn't engaged. We went together 6 years. 13. And went from 13 to 19 before we married. I was going and
He was 20 years old when he was 20 and she was 13. Nowadays, you don't.
yeah, well, I didn't go that much, but I know we lived back here, and Mom knowed the movies, you know, and Daddy knowed them and all, and he'd come get me, and we'd go down to his house and made old-timey cranking ice cream, you know, and my mother had been by the neighbors and the kids and all, things like that. Serious. And anyway, we hadn't planned it. He signed up with the railroad in 1934. And he had to wait till they needed him, you know, call him. And in 1936, June, I think, or July, that John Roper burnt their house down. Everything, except what each one of them had on it Sunday. Kemp had his best suit and, you know, dressed to go to church. And that's what I say, just what they had on. And he did have a thing.
That was Dad's sister.
And they separated, and she lived down there with her 3 boys, lived with them. And he crawled up in under the house and saturated everything with gasoline. And he had kept her up. That was Sunday.
Was Zora in the house?
Yeah,
Was he gonna burn her up too, and the boys?
well, I guess he would. See, Mom Moody was up here at this church. And Clarence and Mom was, and all there was Zora, and she took him and went up to Claude Moody's at the head of the lake. That's Uncle Claude there, Miss Moody's brother and her. And that thing followed, know where she's at, and he laid in the woods across the road just like that, out there, with a gun. And if she'd come out, he was going to blow her brains out. And he had to stay all day.
Did she know he was over there?
Yeah. She was running and hiding, went up there. And some way or another, she got, I think Claude slipped her out and got her out and brought her home. And this man that lived up here in this brick house went down to Miss Murphy's every evening and got milk and butter, eggs, bought stuff up. So she had chickens and cows, pig, everything. And Claude took her home, and she's coming up to church. And the kids hadn't been fed, so she fixed their supper and fed them. And she went in the bedroom, which faced the lake, to kind of crimp up so she could come to church. And she scared to death of him, watching for him. Steven, he must have went to that filling station on the foot of the hill here. Used to be. It's a little house now, it's here. She'd seen him coming, walking, and come up to the pasture where Miss Mullen and that she was down there. He walked up that way. And she didn't know what she was going to do. Scared. She didn't want those kids to know. So he was carrying something, kerosene and can and yes. And about this time, this man